Welcome! Let's pick a perfect outfit for your very first day at work. Option 1. A cute, poofy princess dress. Option 2. A hot slit dress that screams confidence. Option 3. A professional, polished look. Obviously I need something elegant. Woo! Hey, I'm Avery. Wish me luck because today is my very first day as an intern at one of the city's biggest companies. I just hoped I'd make a solid impression and maybe even click with a few people. But half an hour later, I was already standing in front of a crowd, my nerves buzzing like crazy. I smiled, bowed a little, and honestly wished I could rewind life back to being a clueless high schooler. To calm down, I headed straight to the coffee machine. But the moment I turned around with a full latte, I almost crashed right into someone. Watch where you're going, newbie. I ducked my head, stammering apology after apology while dabbing at the coffee stain on her shirt. Holy guacamole, my first impression was toast. Wait, Avery? Huh? Jasmine? You've got to be kidding me. You actually work here? Well, technically, I'm just an intern. A big difference. I've been here a year already. Come on, let me introduce you to everyone. And just like that, the coffee mess was forgotten because my old best friend was suddenly back in my life. Jasmine and I were inseparable in high school. No secrets, no filters. That night, she even invited me over for a sleepover like the old days. Face masks, flipping through yearbook photos, laughing until midnight. Having her back felt like finally having an ally I could trust again. But by day 2, the internship was already turning into a nightmare. Rumors spread fast about some girl in our department who'd once flat out rejected a guy for not being attractive enough. He was a little overweight, and she just said it straight to his face.
Brutal. Could it really be Avery? She looks so sweet.
Shh! My throat tightened. That had actually happened.
Will you go to prom with me?
We don't match. Look at me, and then look at you. But how did they know? That was supposed to be my secret.
Well, if anyone wants a shot with Avery, they'd better be on her level. Like, I don't know, maybe Boss Skylar?
It was fuel to the fire. The girls around me started whispering louder, throwing me side eyes. Then, my boss Skylar walked in. Tall, sharp, the kind of guy who looked like he belonged on a billboard.
This is an office, not a high school cafeteria.
Everyone scattered back to work instantly, me included. I kept my head down, wishing I could vanish into thin air. Later, Jasmine texted me to relax because rumors flew around daily, and people forgot just as fast. You're gorgeous, Avery. That's bound to spark jealousy. Don't worry, I've got your back. Her words calmed me a little, and I decided to thank Skylar properly. I showed up at his office with a Starbucks cup, hoping I'd guessed his favorite. Hi. I just wanted to thank you. I was about to get roasted alive by all those whispers, and you saved me.
You didn't need to.
But I already did, so guess I'll head out.
Wait, Avery.
He stood up from his desk, walking toward me, and that's when I noticed the slight limp in his step. Maybe that's what kept him from chasing a modeling career, but we weren't close enough for me to ask.
Forget the gossip. Focus on your work. Good luck with the internship, and thanks for the drink.
He smiled and my heart just bloomed, but I couldn't shake the weird deja vu like I'd seen him somewhere before. Oh, maybe just a random encounter. Small world, right? That evening, I stayed late while Jasmine had already gone home. By the time I packed up, the office looked deserted.
It's late. I can drive you home.
I nearly jumped out of my skin, then sighed in relief when I realized it was him. For one split second, I almost said yes. I mean, handsome boss offering me a free ride? Tempting, but reality hit. Thanks, but my Uber driver might get jealous.
Get home safe.
And yeah, that was a lie. But I knew if I looked too cozy with him, the rumor mill would explode again. The bad luck didn't stop there. A week later, during lunch, Jasmine suddenly dropped her spoon. The group chat was buzzing non-stop. Avery ran away from home in high school. She even stayed in a foster home. And this time, they dropped my name. I could feel their eyes on me. People who once praised me as the prettiest girl were now stepping back like I was some ticking time bomb. A high school runaway was shocking enough to convince them I couldn't possibly be the good girl type. The worst part, the rumor wasn't entirely wrong. Back in high school, when Dad remarried, I couldn't accept it. So I bolted and stayed in a foster home for a while. They only knew half the truth and twisted it until I sounded like some reckless troublemaker. I hadn't told a soul, except Jasmine. I stared at her across the table. She was scrolling on her phone, munching fries like nothing was happening. I told you, you're too pretty. That's why people notice you. You'll get used to it. I didn't answer. Hold up, do you seriously think, Avery, do you really think I'd stoop that low? Panic gripped me. My mouth opened, but no words came out. Wow, good to know what you really think of me! And she stormed off, leaving me frozen while the whispers grew louder. Cool. 10 days into my dream job, and I'd already ruined the only friendship I had left. That night, I lay on my bed staring at the ceiling, replaying it all in my head. The more I thought about it, the more I realized my secrets weren't national treasures. Anyone could find them out and use them to tease me. Jasmine wasn't guilty of anything. I was just desperate to put the blame on someone. The next morning, I showed up at her place with my best puppy dog face. "You hurt me, Ave. Like, a lot." "I know, and I'm sorry. Can we just hit reset, like Control Z for friendship?" She let out a small laugh and the tension melted. I could finally breathe again, sort of. Because at work, nothing had changed. Smiles to my face, whispers behind my back. By the time I stepped into the elevator that night, my throat burned from holding everything in. One more second and I was gonna lose it. Then the door slid open and Skylar walked in. I bowed quickly and pressed myself into the corner. Silence filled the elevator the whole way down. But before the doors opened again, he handed me a neatly folded handkerchief. Such a simple thing, yet it hit harder than any pep talk ever could. I sprawled out on my bed watching Noira's videos to take the edge off. Suddenly a notification popped up from an unknown number. "Do you want your biggest secret exposed?" My body went cold. Before I could breathe, another text came through. "The accident." Hands shaking, I called the number, but it didn't go through. Whoever was out there, they knew. They knew about that night. It was pouring rain on the empty highway, the kind of storm that made the world look like static. I'd just gotten my license, still giddy with pride, squinting through useless wipers. Then bang! The car jolted like I just rolled over a giant tree branch. But when I glanced at the rearview mirror, I saw... I wanted to stop. I wanted to check, but fear strangled me until I did the dumbest thing ever. For weeks, I barely slept. Every police siren made me flinch. But time wore everything down, and eventually, life felt normal again. I set my phone down, eyes drifting to Skylar's handkerchief. Memories tangled together. The mirror that night, his limp. Could it be? Could he have been the one? Was he just waiting for me to confess? Was that why he always felt so familiar? I couldn't take it anymore. I texted him directly. "We need to talk." We met at a quiet cafe, and the second he sat down, words tumbled out of me. It was me. That night, the rain. I've carried this guilt for years, and...
What are you even talking about?
Your limp. It's from that car accident, isn't it?
My leg? Oh, no. That's just a gym accident.
Well, that was awkward. But I couldn't stop there. I went straight to the police station to confess, only to hear...
We have no record of any accident on that highway that night.
They pulled up old traffic camera footage. After all those years, the truth finally came out. I had run over a mannequin that had fallen off a garbage truck. Right there in the station, I broke down crying like a kid, tears of pure relief.
Then who's been spreading all those rumors?
And just like that, his question yanked me back to the past, to that stormy night when, panicked and shaking, I drove straight to Jasmine's house. Back when we were still so close, we didn't hide anything from each other. Skylar drove me straight to Jasmine's apartment. She answered the door still in a bathrobe, yawning. What's going on, Ave? It's midnight. Skylar? Why are you here too? How long were you gonna stab me in the back? That story, only you knew it. No one else. No one.
Hold on. I think there's a misunderstanding. Why would Jasmine even do that?
Ask her. Jasmine's face turned bright red, her voice rising. Yeah, ask me. Ask me why I wanted your life to fall apart. Because I hated you. All through high school, I was always second place behind you. And when you came back to work at the same company and Skylar started falling for you again, I couldn't take it. Do you not remember? Of course you don't. Why would you? You were the popular girl. He was just the overweight quiet guy who dared to ask you to prom. You rushed him. That pain is what changed him. Pushed him until his leg broke. Huh? And suddenly the memories hit me like lightning. Skylar was that boy, the one who once stood in front of me and said,
I like you.
That's why he'd felt so familiar.
I thought you'd never recognize me.
I wasn't cruel back then. I wanted you to love yourself before you loved anyone else.
Turns out I did, and your rejection was the push I needed.
Jasmine collapsed into sobs. No matter what, she'd still have to face the police for spreading rumors that destroyed people's reputations. As for me, I quit the job. Walking away didn't feel like giving up. It felt like finally taking back control. Months later, I crossed a busy street and bumped into someone. Skylar. Same warm smile, same uneven steps. But this time, there were no secrets left between us. I asked the teacher if I could step outside to get some fresh air, but for some reason, my heart was burning and something kept urging me to head toward the back of the school. What I saw there left me utterly shocked. I rubbed my eyes trying to make sure I wasn't seeing things, but no. It was my boyfriend passionately kissing another girl. And that girl was none other than... Alright, let me tell you the whole story from the beginning. Hi there, I'm Joyce. One word to describe me? Perfect. I had everything. A well-off family with parents who adored me, a hot boyfriend named Jack, our couple J&J was the king and queen of the school. Whenever we showed up, the students would go wild. I was the role model every girl wanted to be, so I always behaved perfectly, never slipping up. Of course, aside from those times when I had to keep up the facade, I had my moments of letting loose, especially when I was with my bestie, Lucy. There was this one time during a quiz competition where I nearly embarrassed myself by forgetting the answer to an easy question, but Lucy, sitting in the audience, held up a sign with the hint for me. I was beyond grateful, and from then on, we became best friends and even moved into the same dorm room. She was soft-spoken and shy, the complete opposite of my fiery and sometimes aggressive self. We had a favorite cafe that we went to almost every day. There was Alex, a pretty cheeky cashier. He seemed to have a crush on me and often gave us free desserts. But too bad for him, I already had my handsome Jack, and Lucy was my love advisor for our relationship. I'm worried. Lately, Jack only texts me once a day and it's always so short. Maybe you should try those boyfriend loyalty tests you see online. Tests? What kind of tests? You know, like having someone else try to flirt with him to see if he's really faithful to you, and it's best if that person is someone close to you. I didn't hesitate at all and assigned Lucy to be the one to help me with this. She was reluctant, but in the end, she caved. So we spent the whole night coming up with the perfect plan. The next day, I purposely picked a fight with Jack and didn't talk to him for a week. During that time, Lucy would go to his basketball games to cheer for him, bringing him water and his favorite popcorn chicken. I also told Lucy to text Jack regularly and comment on his social media posts. A week passed and I was thrilled when Lucy told me that Jack didn't pay any attention to her at all. And that very night, he even texted me to apologize and asked if we could make up. This trick really worked, didn't it? Finally, he realized how important I was to him, right? So Jack and I got back together, and even though we didn't see each other much, he was always texting me, checking in on me. Then one day, I went to school and felt super uneasy for some reason. Maybe it was because my period was coming up? I asked the teacher to let me step out for a bit, and as I was walking toward the back of the school, I saw something horrifying. Lucy and Jack were making out! What the fudge? How dare you two!
Joyce, why are you...
I stormed over and slapped Lucy hard, but Jack immediately pulled her back and hugged her.
What are you doing? Last week was the most important tournament of my life, and I was super stressed and anxious. But you just played games, sulking and ignoring me. It was Lucy who encouraged me and came to my game instead of you.
What? Listen! Lucy caring for you. It was all part of my plan to test you.
Lucy told me everything. At first, I thought it was cute that you were trying to save our relationship, but then I realized I don't love you anymore. Instead, I love Lucy. She's like a little kid and I want to spoil and take care of, while you're too strong. You don't make me feel like I need to protect you.
Gosh, Lucy even hates cats! Lucy, you better explain this right now!
Look at yourself right now, and you'll understand why I did this.
And with that, the two of them walked off hand in hand. Worse, my so-called best friend turned back and mouthed what I could only guess was, "Give it up, you don't deserve him." I clenched my fists, shaking with anger, not knowing what to do. I headed straight to the cafe to vent to Alex, even though he wasn't much help when it came to advice.
Why the long face, kiddo? Let me cheer you up.
Quit talking, I'm not in the mood today. The usual, please.
So, a nice lemon tea. Teach me how to love you, huh?
Ugh, you idiot. Will you cut it out? He then apologized profusely and sat down to listen to me vent all my frustrations.
I told you before. I never thought that Jack dude was any good. Plus, with your temper, I'm the only one who can handle it. Don't be sad, okay? Let's go get some ice cream. Yeah, ice cream.
Zip it! You guys are all the same! Coming here was the biggest mistake of my life. It was already dark, but there was no way I wanted to go back to that dorm room with Lucy the betrayer in it. I thought about going back to grab my stuff and crashing at a hotel for the night. But when I got there, the room was completely empty. Lucy had moved out. She didn't even bother to tell me. I tossed and turned all night with a million questions swirling in my head. I just wanted morning to come so I could find Lucy and get some answers. The next morning, as soon as I saw Lucy, I blocked her path. We need to talk. There's nothing to talk about. Lucy tried to walk away, but I grabbed her hand and suddenly she yelped. Joyce, let go, that hurts! Then she just collapsed to the ground, crying out in pain. People started gathering around us, so I had to help her up to maintain my image as the queen of the school. It's nothing, really. Lucy, let me help you up. And then Lucy just scurried away. What a two-faced snake. Every night, I tossed and turned looking at old pictures of me and Jack. I was angry, but I also missed him so much. But in the days that followed, whether by accident or on purpose, I kept running into Lucy and Jack, hanging out at all the spots that used to be special to me and Jack. I made a scene, but
When are you going to grow up and stop these childish games?
I went back to feeling an indescribable sense of defeat. A whole month passed and I still couldn't get over it. The idea that a perfect girl like me had been dumped, or rather cheated on, was simply unacceptable. Jack's words kept replaying in my head. Could it be the problem was actually me? Yes, he was just messing around with Lucy to make me jealous. If I change, he'll come back to me. I started practicing meditation every day to calm my temper, and then I went to Alex, the master of smooth pickup lines that were all the rage, to get some advice on how to win Jack back.
You ignored me for a whole month, and now you want me to help you win back your ex? You know I'm crazy about you, right? But fine, because it's you, I'll let it slide.
I took notes like a maniac and put the plan into action that very night. But then, Jack, do you have a map?
What for?
Because I got lost in your eyes. But just a few seconds later, Jack blocked me. Alex! The next day, I baked some cookies and brought them to Jack's house, only to find Lucy was already there. She immediately let the dog loose on me and I ran for my life. Even Jack's dog turned against me. I decided to use my last resort. I rented a mascot costume shaped like a rooster, Jack's basketball team's mascot, and wore it to his game. Alex insisted on coming along to support me in case anything went wrong. After the game, I ran over to hug Jack, but Lucy tripped me and I rolled across the court a few times. The mascot head fell off and everyone burst out laughing. What a humiliation. And to make it worse, Jack didn't even bother to help me up. He just shook his head and walked away. But Alex was the one who did. I felt completely defeated, and Alex and I went to the cafe together. I was a total failure. I wanted so badly to expose those two awful people, but I had no proof since they were still sneaking around in secret. Alex noticed how down I was and tried to comfort me. In the end, this flirty goofball was the only one sticking around me for right now. The next morning, I went to school and was horrified to see a picture of me and Alex plastered all over the school forum. And whoever took it had framed it to make it look like we were kissing. Hundreds of comments flooded in, accusing me of cheating on Jack, and I was bombarded with hateful messages. I locked all my social media accounts to avoid the drama, but when I got to school, people were still cursing me out. They even spray painted all over my desk. It had to be Lucy who did this. She's the only one who knows my favorite cafe. But I was stuck in the middle of a storm, and if I made a big deal out of it, things would only get worse. So I had to swallow my pride and wait for the storm to pass. A while later, Jack and Lucy made their relationship public, and people actually supported them. Well played. A perfect plan, huh? And when this year's prom rolled around, Lucy replaced me as the new queen. Every time she saw me, she'd flash that smug smile, making me want to scream. Seeing me so down every day, Alex suggested we go for a walk by the river to clear my head.
Why are you torturing yourself like this? And for someone who doesn't deserve you?
But he was my boyfriend.
He's not your boyfriend anymore. I know how much this has hurt you, but sometimes we need to let go of things that no longer belong to us. Don't lose your sense of self-worth over something that's not worth it.
Alex's words hit me like a wake-up call. The Alex standing before me seemed so different from the usual flirty guy, and for some reason, my heart started beating a little faster. That night, I lay in bed thinking back on everything I'd done to try to win Jack back and realized how stupid I'd been. So I decided from now on, I'd live true to myself. I switched up my style to something more edgy, something that matched who I really was. No more pretending to be some princess because who even admired me anymore anyway? I took a 2-week break from school and went on a road trip with Alex, something I'd never dared to even think about before. I suddenly realized that whenever I was with Alex, I laughed a lot. He made me feel more alive, more confident in myself. I reopened my social media and often posted pictures from our trip to keep the memories, but under each post there were always comments from some strange account.
You don't deserve it.
I'm going to take everything from you. At first it bugged me, but then I just shrugged it off because now there were too many people in school who hated me to count. Alex was always there to help me get through the rough times and well, what was bound to happen, happened.
I've liked you since the first time we met, but you had a boyfriend, so I didn't say anything. But now I've got the courage. Will you be my girlfriend?
Oh my gosh, of course I said yes. We were so happy together, but for some reason, every time we went on a date, I would somehow end up running into Lucy, and she always gave us this really nasty look. Then Alex told me that Lucy had been texting him, trying to get to know him, but he never responded. A few days later, out of nowhere, Lucy came to apologize to me. Joyce, I was wrong. I agreed to be with Jack because I was weak and never had been loved before. I've broken up with Jack, and every time I look at our old photos, I feel so sad and miss you. Please forgive me. I felt a bit emotional looking at the picture of the two of us together, and then Lucy invited me to a party at her house that night to make peace. I hesitated, but eventually agreed. I told Alex about it, and he was still suspicious, but I decided to follow my heart. But when I got there, I found it was a rundown house with old, shabby furniture and only a picture of Lucy and her mom. There was no party at all. And then, everything suddenly went black. I opened my eyes and saw Lucy standing in front of me. Lucy, why? Blame yourself. I've had enough of you for a long time. Ever since we became friends, you always hogged the spotlight and I was just your sidekick. What are you talking about? I never thought of you like that. Shut up! You had everything. I had nothing. A house drowning in debt, a mom in prison, a dad who passed away, and not a single person to love me. So I had to take everything from you. You're going to pay for overshadowing me. Then she tied me up with a rope. Have a fun night, my dear friend. I was scared out of my mind as Lucy turned off the lights and was about to leave. Please, please, please someone save me. Just then, the door burst open with a loud crash, and a flash of light followed by the sound of a camera clicking filled the room.
Hello, Lucy. Nice to finally meet you.
Lucy immediately charged at him, and they started fighting right in front of my astonished eyes. In the end, Lucy managed to escape. Turns out Alex was worried about me, so he'd followed me and arrived just in time to save me. I don't know what would have happened if it wasn't for him. The next morning, we went to school and released all the photos we'd taken the night before. The students went wild. Look at Lucy's reaction. She tried to run, but I caught up with her. Everyone, don't believe it. Those are just photoshopped. Oh, come on. I'm just doing what you did to me before. What do you mean? Back then, I had to find just the right angle to make it look like you two were kissing, not photoshopped like yours. Realizing she'd slipped up, Lucy tried to escape, but it seemed like the crowd wasn't about to let her go. Looks like my dear friend is going to have a rough time ahead. Phew. What a mess, huh? But in the end, I got my reputation back and didn't have to pretend to be the queen anymore. Lucy ended up transferring schools and no one ever heard from her again. But whatever, she's not my concern anymore. What really matters now is this guy, the one who's got me all cheesy and love-struck. Are you a magician? Because every time I'm with you, everything else just disappears. Despite my struggles, Dad calmly tied me to the front seat and drove off. Why are you and Mom going on vacation together while I'm being sent to some stranger's house?
I'm so sorry, Eleanor, but I need some private time to comfort your mom. She's been ignoring me lately. Don't worry, darling. It's just for 2 weeks. Besides, I think you'll like their 2 sons.
2 sons? Gosh, I'm going to die of loneliness and boredom there. As Dad dragged me through their gate, I realized it was a mansion as stunning as ours. From the poolside, 2 figures approached. Holy guacamole, look at those Greek godlike muscles. Alright, maybe Dad was right after all. Hi, I'm Eleanor Chapman from Massachusetts, and yeah, this is the story of my love triangle with the Miller twins. Like and subscribe before we dive in. Back to the story. The Miller boys came to greet us. Somehow they looked very familiar.
Mr. Chapman! Hey, Eleanor, welcome! I'm Ross, and this is Bobby. Nice to meet you both.
While Ross was warm and welcoming, Bobby just stared at me dumbfounded. I was a bit puzzled but waved at him before following Ross. Ross was a true gentleman, always smiling and polite. We chatted as he showed me around the mansion and explained everything I needed to know.
Oh, Eleanor, you know, we've actually met before.
Really? Wow, no wonder you look so familiar, but I couldn't remember where we've met.
It was quite a while ago. Back then, my family took a rather aggressive dog to the park to play. Out of nowhere, a fearless little girl kept teasing the dog, making him break free from my dad's grip.
Memories flashed in my mind. I remember! That time I had to run for my life, but then a boy managed to grab the leash and tied it to a tree before the dog could devour me. Was that you? Ross smiled and nodded. I couldn't believe we met again after all these years. Though I didn't catch his name back then. I gave him my cherished bunny pin as a thank you gift. I was about to ask Ross if he still kept it when someone called him from afar. It was a girl standing with Bobby looking quite close. Just as I thought, I'd have a new female friend my age. Carla's sharp eyes and suggestive smile dashed that hope instantly. Hi, I'm Carla, Ross and Bobby's classmate, and we've lived in the same neighborhood and been close since we were kids. Nice to meet ya. I forced a smile, unaware that the real nightmare had just begun. That night, I was sleeping soundly when I woke up by the poolside to the sound of Bobby's cries for help. Oh no, I had to save him!
Eleanor, stop!
I snapped out of it just as I was teetering on the pool's edge and then tumbled into Bobby. Sleepwalking again. I hadn't done it for months, so I thought I was over it. Thanks, Bobby.
As long as you're okay.
Bobby picked up a notebook nearby and continued drawing his unfinished picture. Oh, so you were sketching out here? That's beautiful! We chatted for a while after that. Turns out Bobby has always wanted to be an artist. Looking into his eyes, I could tell how much he loved drawing. Unfortunately, he still hadn't convinced his parents to let him pursue it. Don't give up though. Your artwork could become masterpieces. If you ever have an art exhibition, I'll be the first to get a ticket. Bobby suddenly went silent and stared into my eyes.
Eleanor, you really don't remember anything?
Remember what? Hey, just so you know, my memory is terrible. It wasn't until Ross reminded me of our past that I even remembered we had met.
What did Ross say?
After I recounted the whole story, Bobby abruptly stood up, visibly upset. He told me to get some sleep and quickly left for his room. I wondered if I had said something wrong. After finding out I would be staying for 2 weeks, Carla was around us almost 24/7, especially clinging to Bobby. After what happened that night, I felt a bit awkward around him, so I kept my distance from the lovebirds and talked more with Ross. But that's when things got messy. Ross and Bobby were at each other's throats all the time, and I wasn't imagining it. They were doing it because of me.
Eleanor, try this hot hash brown. It'll make you feel bloated. Here, try the burrito I made. And the burrito won't make her feel bloated?
Okay, enough. I'll just have the cereal. When they saw me trying to reach for the cereal box on the top shelf, they both stretched at the same time, trying to grab it first. The box popped open and cereal rained down on me. Things got even worse during our golf game the next day. Carla suggested we split into teams and keep score, and the losing team would have to pick up all the golf balls for the rest of the day. She quickly paired up with Bobby, so Ross and I naturally became a team. Honestly, I was terrible at golf, so Ross had to guide me. But every time he got close, I felt Bobby's electric glare. I'd never been on a more tense outing. I took a deep breath, swung with all my might, but unfortunately the ball didn't go into the hole and I sprained my ankle.
Oh no, are you okay?
Aww, our new friend isn't very good at this, huh? She must really love ball picking. Ross and I braced ourselves to start picking up balls, but then something incredible happened. Bobby kept missing the next shots. Everyone was stunned since he was usually a golf pro. By the final round, with a miraculous shot from me, our team won. After the game, I was buying a drink from a vending machine when it got stuck. Just then, Bobby appeared and rescued me, even opening the bottle for me before handing it over. Thanks, Bobby. About the game before, did you lose on purpose? Well, you must have. I heard you're really good at golf.
Better that than letting a girl with a sprained ankle pick up balls. Is it feeling better?
Bobby's worried look made my heart skip a beat. I quickly turned away, and through the vending machine's glass, I accidentally saw my blushing face. But things took a turn for the worse when Carla pulled me aside, furious. Stay away from Bobby. He's mine. How can you flirt with both of them, you witch? Excuse me, watch your words. If you didn't know, Bobby and I are engaged. It's an arrangement between our families for years, so don't think you can change a thing. Oh no, I had noticed the Miller twins paying more attention to me than usual, but Ross was just being nice to make me feel comfortable in an unfamiliar place. And about Bobby, could he really like me? Nah, what was I thinking? 14 days flew by quickly. The Miller family decided to throw a party before I had to go back home. They even hired a private fitting service and let me choose my favorite dress for the party. When I tried on a dress I liked and was about to ask the assistant for her opinion, I was shocked to see Ross and Bobby sitting there. Both of them looked stunned when they saw me.
You look beautiful.
Ross approached, gently tucking my hair behind my ear while Bobby glared daggers. To make things worse, the assistant added fuel to the fire. What a lovely couple. You two look great together. I was about to correct her, but then remembered Carla's words. Maybe letting Bobby misunderstand was a good idea. Carla wouldn't have any reason to doubt me anymore. The night of the party, I hang out with Ross while Carla clung to Bobby as usual. Even though Ross looked dashing and took good care of me, I couldn't stop myself from glancing at his brother. As the party went on, Ross pulled me into a quiet hallway.
I haven't been able to stop caring about you since we first met. I think I like you, Eleanor.
Even though I'd kinda guessed it, I was still taken aback. Listen, thank you so much, Ross, but I'm sorry. Can we? Just then, I noticed Bobby and Carla at the end of the hallway. She was leaning into Bobby, and then they kissed. It felt like a tsunami was raging inside me.
Eleanor?
Sorry, Ross, I have to go. I walked straight towards Bobby and Carla, but out of nowhere, a cake flew into my face. Immediately after, someone splashed me with wine. It was Carla's friends? Which flirting with other people's boyfriends, so shameless. Living with two strange boys and not feeling embarrassed, and flirting with both of them? My face burned with embarrassment and anger. One of the girls was about to hit me, but Bobby stopped her just in time.
Stop it right now! How dare you pull this stunt in my house?
I looked at Bobby with teary eyes. He reached out to me, but I stood up on my own and walked straight to Ross. That moment made me realize that I liked Bobby. But the cruel truth was that he would marry someone else, and I had just turned down someone who liked me. How stupid. If I had known this, I would have insisted on not staying here in the first place. After that day, Bobby tried to talk to me a few times, but I kept my distance. With my departure date nearing, I just needed to keep things calm until then. One evening, the Miller family and I gathered around the dinner table. Dinner was going well until Mr. Miller mentioned the company inheritance, and Ross and Bobby started a heated argument.
Why do you always have to act like you're so outstanding? Is that all you can think of? Maybe if you focused more on studying in our company instead of drawing, you'd understand what I'm talking about.
Ross was clearly out of line. Bobby's face darkened immediately. He lunged at Ross, causing a panic. Half the dishes on the table shattered, and Mr. Miller had to jump in to separate them. In the end, Bobby stormed out angrily. It was chaos. A long while later, Ross came over to apologize.
Sorry for ruining your dinner, Eleanor.
The person you need to apologize isn't me. You know you shouldn't have said that to your brother, right?
Yeah, I know. I lost my temper.
Then Ross told me about the history between the two brothers. Since they were young, their dad had always encouraged them to compete to become the best. Ross excelled in academics and had a knack for business, so Mr. Miller chose him to inherit the company. Bobby, on the other hand, was passionate about art and always daydreaming, which made Mr. Miller stricter with him and not value him as much as Ross. No wonder I always felt something was off. They weren't close to each other like typical twins. Ross said he sincerely didn't want to fight with Bobby, but it was hard for them to understand each other now. That night, I decided to try talking to Bobby. Bobby, are you okay? Ross told me about you two.
If you're here to speak up for Ross, just stop. I don't want to hear it.
But I believe you understand, Bobby. After all, Ross is your twin brother.
Enough. Everyone sides with him. You like Ross too, don't you? You look down on me, just like our dad.
How can you say that? I was so disappointed, I burst into tears and ran away. The next day, my dad came to take me home. I didn't see the twins again until over 2 months later, when Ross suddenly contacted me and asked to meet him in a cafe urgently.
Bobby is going to study art in Japan. He's convinced our dad.
Really? That's great! Well, anything else?
I'm sorry, but I lied to you. Remember the aggressive dog from when we first met? I was there, but the one who saved you was Bobby. He also found out Carla made up the engagement story and was furious. There's no engagement. Bobby has always cared about you, Eleanor.
I was so shocked I could only stay silent. After meeting with Ross, I knew I had to make my feelings clear before it was too late. The airport was bustling with people, but it wasn't hard to spot Bobby near the check-in area. The bunny pin I gave him was on his chest.
Eleanor, what are you doing here?
I kissed Bobby before he could finish. I like you, Bobby. I like you. Sorry for not remembering you at first.
I'm sorry too, for saying those harsh things. I should have been honest with you from the start, instead of staying silent. Eleanor, I like you too. Will you wait for my first art exhibition?
Yes, absolutely.